everybody, welcome to my tutorial on how to ink in Photoshop. Now, before we really begin, what is inking? Well, if you read comics and you've seen comic books and everything, you'll see the comics have these black lines and black spaces like this, and that's basically what inking does. It redefines a drawing, the penciler does, and the inker goes in and kind of makes it look cleaner and finer. And a lot of people think inkers may just trace over a drawing, but it's really more than that. If you look at my original sketch for this, you can see they're very different. You can see that. And personally, I think the ink looks much better than the drawing, but that's just a basic sketch, and that's kind of what inking is supposed to do. It's supposed to make it look nicer and cleaner and just all around better. So I'll show you how to do this. So what you'll need for this is Photoshop, of course, or GIMP, or whatever program that have similar capabilities to Photoshop. And what we're going to use is the pen tool, which is right here. And before we really start using the pen, we need to get our brush settings ready to trace over the drawing. So usually I kind of have mine kind of small, my brushes. Let's see, right here it's about 2 or 3. See, it's thin and fine, and that's kind of how I like my brush, and it's 100% hardness. And since I'm using, you don't need a pen tablet, but I have one, and I usually use it, so I'm going to go over to the brush settings and in the transfer mode, and I'm going to come over to the opacity jitter and have it on pen pressure. The thing about the pen tool, see, there are different ways to ink. I don't usually do it this way, but if you want, you can. So you make your line, and you stroke it, and you can. And if you have a pen tablet, then you can use stimulate pressure, and that's why we went over here to the brush settings and had it on pen pressure. So you're going to click OK. Go away, and see what that did? It made it really, like, thin at the ends and thicker in the middle. And for some drawings that look okay, but I don't really do that for my comics. You could also do the same thing. Go make your line, right-click, stroke, but unclick, stimulate pressure, and then you'll just have this evenly spaced, black line, which is also good if you're into that kind of thing. And I'll show you a little bit on how to do it right now. So you have your drawing, and you'll need a drawing. I like to make it kind of transparent so that the line sticks out a little bit more. And you're going to make a new layer. Now you're just going to make the lines where your drawing is, like so. Right click, stroke, stimulate pressure, or not stimulate pressure, but see? And if you know how to use the pen tool, then this would be pretty easy, but if you don't, I really suggest you play around with it, because it really makes inking a lot easier. And so using that, you can trace around the eye a little bit, kind of give it a little more shape. So we're going to leave it like that. Right click, stroke, hit OK. And see, now you're starting to kind of get the shape of the eye. And you can continue on like that, or you can go in and use stimulate pressure if you like that look. See, it doesn't look that bad. The nose looks a little pointy, but for my taste, everyone has a different style of drawing, and inking is basically just redefining your style. I actually do it kind of differently, and if you look at the lines on my inking image, you kind of see the lines are actually different from what I've shown you, like right here. Let me zoom in right here. This fold in her sweater, it's not stimulate pressure. I didn't use that. But it's still thin at the ends and thicker in the middle. What I did, which I really like doing, and her nose still looks a little pointy, but that's okay. So what I did, I really like doing this. I'm going to delete what I've done. And here's what I did. See, I'm tracing her eyebrow. But instead of just making a single line, I'm going to make like an enclosed shape. So that this is the overall shape of her eyebrow. And this time I'm going to right click, but I'm going to fill pattern. And I'm going to have it on foreground color, which is right over here. Black, white, it would be the background. So you can change it. But I was having a foreground, normal, 100, everything basically here is fine. So I'm going to hit OK. And now I have this basic shape. Not only do I use this pen tool to get the basic shape, see here again I'm outlining the nose, but instead of just making a line, I'm making it sort of a thicker line, and I kind of like this way better than just stimulate pressure, because then the ends don't look faded, and I don't necessarily want that. So I think that nose actually looks better than this one. So, but anyway, so that's how I go around, and I do that with every single line. So one thing that I had trouble with when starting to ink was, where the heck do I place these black areas? Because not really in real life do you see, or in any other type of art, you really see that much black in a drawing. So here is a reference that I used to draw the image that you just seen. So what you're going to do is duplicate it. You're going to go to Image, Adjustment, and you can do this at levels or curves. I usually use levels, but I'm going to use curves right now, just for the heck of it. And what you're going to do, you're going to really kind of get the shadows, wrong way, the shadows amplified to get some black shadows. Like here, you can see the black shadows sort of start to come up. So I'm going to hit OK, because I think that's good. And you can leave it like this, or you can kind of go through the modes and kind of see which one you like best. I think I'm gonna stick with this one. I think there's pretty good darkness here. Yeah, you can see here she has a lot of the black shadows here and along her jeans and such. I didn't make it that drastic in my drawing, but you can make it as, drastic or whatever as you want. I kind of just did it around her hair, but you can add as much black shadows as you want. Oh, another thing about this background, when I did the bricks and stuff, I didn't like how, you would think all you'd have to do is just, make a straight line, even without stimulating pressure. Like, you can see it looks like fuzzy around the ends, like compared to this line here. So what I did was I took this selection tool, the rectangular selection tool, and I made, a rectangle, and then stroke. I didn't like it. I didn't like how it looked, Even without, I generally had it at 3, I think. Yeah, about 3. I had it about 3, I think. So yeah, you can really see the difference in this line and in these lines here. So I use the selection tool for that. And for the eyes, I use the circle selection tool. And for the tires in the car. Yeah, it still looks a little fuzzy. It still looks like this. But it is easier to just use the selection tool rather than the pen. I think for the tires I actually did something like this. Like, I made a circle, I filled it in, then I went back to the selection tool and I didn't deselect it. I right-clicked it, transform selection, made it a little smaller, and I centered it. Right about there. Then I deleted the inside. Like that. See? And this looks a little bit better than this circle. Just a little bit. And in art, the small details are really what matter. So that is how I ink. I fill in shapes that I make with the pen tool rather than just stroke the outline. And I use the selection tool over, just using the pen tool the entire time. I really think it gives you a cleaner look. So that is basically all I have to say on inking for now. I really hope you like this tutorial. I hope it really helped you. If you have any questions or suggestions for tutorials, feel free to ask me. I really hope this made sense too. If it didn't, again, just feel free to ask questions. Send me a message or leave a comment, and I can maybe make another inking tutorial if this didn't make any sense. But if it helped you in any way, I'm really glad. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!